the four of us are now running the Integrative Health Collaborative, and it's really an honor to be able to do that. We are running programming every month, and the aim of the collaborative is to get together practitioners of complementary and alternative medicine or integrative medicine and practitioners of conventional medicine, doctors and nurses and nurse practitioners, et cetera, to really kind of start to conspire around collaborative medicine and to enable that and to make Boston an example of successful collaborative medicine comprehensively. I am not a practitioner. I run a company called Jill's List, which is built for health consumers or patients, as we like to call them, I think we represent all sides of collaborative medicine, including the patient and the individual in care. And if any of you are interested in helping the collaborative, it's a completely volunteer organization. So if you have expertise in any of these things, marketing, communications, recommending speakers, bringing healthy food to share, AV and media support, or experiential presentations for 10 minutes pre or post the discussion. All of those things would be very welcome, as well as helping us to bring communications to all of the hospitals and to make sure that the doctors and nurses in Boston are also involved.
Thank you all for coming. I'm an internal medicine doctor, primary care doctor for the last 30 years, which is why I'm allowed to get up and say something. But I'm here really because I'm just an awfully lucky guy with prostate cancer for the last 8 years, who's found when conventional medicine had nothing to offer, better and more effective and healthier ways to do things. And so for a moment, I'd just like to get a quick sense of who you are, because it makes it much easier to carry on a conversation. Are there any other medical doctors in the room? Yes, several. How many conventional medical practitioners, nurses, physical therapists, other administrators? And how are we with practitioners of, without Tong Ren, complementary and alternative modalities? And now with Tong Ren, how many complementary and alternative modalities? Yeah, well represented. The reason I said earlier I was here is to share, not as a doctor, but as a patient, the trials and tribulations that too many of us find ourselves going through. It's trying to be a good husband and father, work hard, take care of a solo practice, and at 50 years old, you don't expect to get skin cancer that won't go away. Cut out 5 times, keeps coming back. Conventional medicine says multi-something, we can't fix it. You're going to have to go on chemo for skin cancer. Your friends are the specialists. They know what they're doing, supposedly. You think they do. But this keeps coming back. Why don't you go to my acupuncturist? She can fix skin cancer. Why didn't it, before 5 surgeries? It would have been very nice to try that first. So anyway, but a Western doc would never do that. We were taught, no, that's all placebo. So, you see the acupuncturist Cheryl, little Reiki also, just 4 sessions. After 3 years of dealing with this cancer, it disappeared in a month, never came back. I'll have to remember that. Then at the age of 52, a PSA, you may go to the doctor, like I'm told, and PSA is like going up like an exponential curve. Gives you a bad feeling, especially when they say their biopsy shows cancer. But we got a cure for you. We'll just take the thing out. Wonderful. So, no blood pressure for an hour and a half on the table, 8 units of fluid later, wake up like a Pillsbury Doughboy, but didn't die, it's good. Next week, MRSA abscess, hospitalization. It was complicated, it was no fun at all. And then the big disappointment was it came back again. The cure, it's a simple case, very small, it was not a cure, it was simply a waypoint, if you will. This conventional medicine says, Well, we have the radiation for you. And it will give you a 20% chance of cure. And a 98% chance of being miserable for the little life you have left. You know, I don't gamble, but those didn't sound like very good odds to me. So there was one oncologist who was actually one of the most foremost prostate cancer specialists in the country, who was fortunately in the Boston area for a short time. And he says, no, you've been married 2 years. You try something else, temporize. You know, this doesn't look that bad, okay. So I tried a few things, acupuncture, Reiki, and whatever I could find. And another healing modality, doesn't matter, it didn't work. Prostate PSA is still a skyrocketing exponential curve of cancer. And then my acupuncturist says, you know what you need? You need a Tom 10. What's a Tom 10? Where do you find one of those? So, you know, you Google, you find it, and then this guy, he comes up. He says, oh, nice to meet you. How are you feeling? I'll fix you right up. So, and there's this conventional medicine doctor sitting there looking at him saying, huh? Well, from that day, the PSA just plateaued. Didn't go up a bit. Well, there's something in that hammer. I don't know what it is, but I want some of that. So it turns out, here we are after more than 4 years of Tong Ren. PSA hasn't disappeared. It does go down significantly if I go on a plant-based diet, meditate on a regular basis. It does definitely improve my own particular response. But with the Tong Ren alone, we're a flat line. And cancer grows, by definition. Usually, whatever your marker, your indicator is, usually they see exponential curves instead of something very flat. That's why when Tom says stable is stable, it means your disease is not acting as cancer at this time. So, I said to my mother, who had been diagnosed with a metastatic carcinoid cancer. Carcinoid, when it's small, does not act malignant, but hers was 10 centimeters when it was found in the chest, a lung removed, and vascular grafting, big operation, and then it came back anyway. And Dana Farber and a couple of others said, you know, we've got prayer, but that's it. So I say, hey, come meet Tom. She comes to Tom, and these cancers that are growing on every 6-month CT either disappeared or shrank with no conventional treatment, because there was none. So we've got a couple of successes that I can testify to. But it really piqued my interest is, wait a minute, this is my Western medicine world. That doesn't happen. It's placebo, I think. Well, it's one heck of a placebo. But if we stop and think for a second, what is our evidence? You know, as far as our guidelines, conventional standards of care, mostly it's evidence that's handed to us for free. The most important evidence is sitting in the room, across the table. Well, here we are. I've got a cancer that I'm not very happy having. And up to the speed of light, we don't have anything except, well, the radiation, they could burn it, but not history anyway, you know. But how about bringing in consciousness and changing the tumor mass through human intention? Sounds impossible. And everybody in the science world said, it is impossible. Bill Tiller says, okay, here's a beaker of water. We have a nice protected environment. We control temperature, and every possible variable is controlled. But there's a beaker of water. And now we're going to go over to the next room, 4 of us. We're going to meditate for about 45 minutes. Watch the pH probe. And by meditative intention alone, they could make the pH go up or down a full pH point, which is a massive change in the acid-base balance, in the intended direction. So in the physical domain, we see with our 5 senses, we measure things, we have the instrumentation. in the reciprocal domain, as Bill Tiller and some others are calling it, properties are all different. And it is possible to be literally in two places at one time, and many particles are. And can you live two lives at one time? The Intention Experiment is a wonderful summary of almost everything that's gone on in the science of consciousness. And this is where we are, the science of consciousness. How consciousness and intention can affect our physical mass, the matter that we live with and we see every day, but is not as rock solid as we think. And the energies involved are incredible. The energy in the matter world here, energy matter, and the five sensory world, we burn a piece of wood, we can warm up, but when you get into the other reality, the inverse reality, the energies there are unbelievably powerful. And we all know that. It's hard to fight gravity. And certainly we know that while a fire might burn us, a lot of things like emotion, intention, can kill us. Because we know that fear never heals anybody. Lynn McTaggart, who got very interested in science and medicine, and wrote initially The Field, which is a lot of the groundwork, came out with something called The Intention Experiment. It's a passage from her second book called The Intention Experiment. All matter in the universe exists in a web of connection and constant influence, which often overrides many of the laws of the universe that we used to hold as supreme. Our definition of the physical universe as a collection of isolated objects, our definition of ourselves as just another one of those objects, and even our most basic understanding of time and space needs to change. Information transfer constantly carries on between living things, and that thought forms are simply another aspect of transmitted energy. What is it to be human, but how to relate with each other and with ourselves? We have to reconsider the effect of everything we think, whether we say it or not. Our relationship with the world carries on even in our silence. And we must also recognize that these ideas are no longer the ruminations of a few eccentric individuals. The power of thought underpins many well-accepted disciplines in every reach of life, from orthodox and alternative medicine to competitive sports. That's why I was hoping Rick Leskowitz would be here and talk about the joy of socks. He's demonstrated and published the effect of consciousness, especially group consciousness, on the outcome of sporting events. Modern science, modern medicine must fully appreciate the central role of the intention of healing, which says something about our current system. Medical scientists often speak of the placebo effect as quite an annoying little impediment to the proof of the effectiveness of a chemical agent. But it's time that we understood and made full use of the power of placebo. Repeatedly, the mind has proved to be far more powerful a healer than the greatest of breakthrough drugs. Ancient Eastern wisdom was that all reality originates from an underlying field of energy. Ancient Hindu seers referred to it as Akasha, the Akashic field, out of which all matter grows and then when it disintegrates, falls back into. In Asian cultures, ki or chi. So it's a universal energy. It's everywhere, can't be seen anywhere. There's time, doesn't matter. It's universally present, always has been, always will be. The ancient wisdom is that this is really the field from which we all come. So we rise like a wave out of this collective field. Can't see it, it's there. But it's this field of energy from which we will pop up into what some people call a body biosuit, whatever you want to call what you're inhabiting at the moment. And that wave then is visible in our five sensory domain of reality for our lifetime. It disintegrates. The matter disintegrates. What about the energy? What about the spirit, the soul? These ancient wisdoms know that is indestructible. The learning, the maturity, the evolution of soul or spirit does not disappear with the death of a person, any one person, but rather goes back into the Akashic field or whatever other field you'd like to name it, ready to pop up again in a different form, a different person, different time. In conventional medicine, we understand very clearly that the body needs circulation of everything. We need circulation of oxygen to keep each organ alive, blood, nutrients, neuronal or hormonal stimulation for certain organs to be healthy and function normally. And we know if we block that circulation of oxygen, blood, etc., the affected organ dies or becomes diseased. What do? We fix it. Oh, a little angioplasty or, bypass. We do something to fix that problem temporarily. The Eastern science says, well, that's very nice. You're treating the symptoms, but they tend to come back again, And you're missing something because we have this other type of circulation or energy that the body needs to exist in its natural state of health. And that's our ki, or chi. Again, this collective we all rise out of, as is all the matter around us for the short time that we're here on this earth. If that circulation is blocked, we have disease, just like the oxygen, or the blood was blocked. We have disease in that organ, or in the whole organism. The theory of acupuncture and a lot of the other Eastern-based healing modalities is, of course, to unblock the flow of health-maintaining and healing chi energy, or ki. Where are these? How many people have been to an autopsy this week? If you do, you'll never find an acupuncture meridian or a chakra energy center. They've looked. We know where they are. We can measure we can feel the effects. We treat these centers, these meridians, we treat these energy centers, and things get better. People get better. Lives are changed. Quality of life has changed. But where are they? Well, wait a minute. They're not in our five sensory world. They're in that reciprocal space, the reciprocal domain of reality. So of course we can't see them. They aren't light waves or neuronal impulses, not electromagnetic. They're magneto-electric. All the opposite physical properties. No space, no time in the equations. Incredible power in that. And healing capabilities. So that's why we've never found them. They don't exist in the same level of reality that we think we own. We're clear in Tong Ren to not promise cures, not say we're an alternative to following conventional advice. You get your conventional doctor's advice. They make the diagnoses. We do not in Tong Ren diagnose anybody, and never promise a cure, that's for sure. Tong Ren is growing so quickly. I think we're in 24 states and 15 countries now. And the numbers are going up all the time. And it's not because of advertising. Because people have friends, families, neighbors who weren't supposed to be here anymore. A lot of people find the healing classes to be more powerful. And maybe more powerful than one-on-one treatment. And then you have to say, well, wait a minute. Maybe Tong Ren's bringing us something that other modalities haven't learned to harness quite yet. A couple of things. One thing is synchrony. It's seen in nature all the time. Very natural tendency. Back to the mass physics world, two pendulums on a wall tend to gradually come into synchrony together if just left alone. Fish swimming in a school. Birds flying in a flock. There is no visible maestro for that perfect coordination. What is it? Well, we thought it was brainwave entrainment, because humans can swim with the dolphins and actually feel like they're communicating with the dolphins and anticipate their moves. And the dolphins act as if they are in mental communication, but maybe it's not what we think of as brainwave. It may be a much, much higher power, where it's consciousness. Oh, we can share consciousness. That's one thing that Tong Ren does. It brings into the room a number of people who are all of like mindset. They're looking for something. They're looking for healing, looking for a cure, hopefully, if not simply some improvement or stabilization. We're also bringing in a number of like-minded people and very kind people who don't get paid for this or get their gas money or anything else. They give their time because they're thrilled to share the ability to see the people who are healing and their joy and the joy of their family who are with them. So the reward is just the practice, I think, for most Tong Ren practitioners. And that group effect is, I think, to concentrate consciousness, to bring conscious people together who are sharing the same modality. And we sort of fall in, by accident it seems, to about 3.5 hertz or cycles per second with the hammer. A friend of mine is a composer, professional musician at Berkeley. And she says, yeah, I recognize that frequency. It's used in all sorts of tribal rituals and drums and going back, way, way back in history. Why? It draws the human spirit, draws us into connection, receptivity, we believe, is inviting now the body of that person, the health of that person wanting healing, back into synchrony with the collective healthy patterns, using the energy available in that non-visible, reciprocal mode of reality to do the healing. And the information is not coming from anybody standing in front of you. The information and the energy is coming from the collective consciousness, unconsciousness, from the Akashic field, from the probably global human evolution. Tom, as you probably know, is a healer, a writer, poet. He was born in China, of course, came to the U.S. back in 1975. And he practices acupuncture, Tai Chi, Qigong, and a little bit of Tong Ren. 20 years ago, in doing these other modalities, there was a problem. He was teaching Tui Na massage to a class of students, and one of his students, a young woman, had this horrible sciatic pain. Well, they'd been doing acupuncture, and they had some dirty needles lying around. So we don't want the dirty needle. So Tom draws a picture, just on a piece of paper, just a quick human figure. And he puts the acupuncture needles into that human figure on paper. Just a few minutes, the pain was gone. Surrogate acupuncture. Very interesting. So he played with this, he experimented, and now, over the last 20 years, has evolved this whole system. A lot of other people, I think, some of whom are here, are very happy that he's evolved this whole mode also. That involves not just Western neuroanatomy and some Western science, not just Eastern wisdom, but then the collective presence of the practitioners, collective presence of the recipients or those seeking healing, and uniting all that with the total human collective that's been evolving now for an awfully long time as we ride our little wave for our lifetime and then disappear back into that collective intelligence and energy.
My name is Judith, and I am a research nurse coordinator at Spalding Rehab Hospital in traumatic brain injury. So I would like to tell you a little bit about our experience at Spalding with Tong Ren. But before I do that, I would also like to tell you that I have the opportunity to be here tonight because 10.5 years ago, when I was diagnosed with head and neck cancer, I had the very good fortune to be able to combine Western modalities in integrative medicine. I was able to find the Western people that I needed, 2 great surgeons, and they did me great justice so that after long hours of surgery, dissection, and resection, I did not need any further treatment. I then had the good sense to move out of the Western model into the complementary model, which was primarily energy of one form or another. I was not familiar with Tong Ren at that point in time, but I think it was part of my journey to get to Tong Ren. So now I have been at Spalding since 2009, and I'm also a member of the Integrative Medicine Task Force. Once after I went to Spalding, I happened to hear about this thing called Tong Ren twice in 24 hours from 2 different people. That says something to me. I have to check this out. So Tong Ren came in on February 21st, 2010. We offered 2 classes on Sunday afternoons, one from 4 to 5, and that was originally designed for patients who had neurological illnesses. But it is a combination. Whoever comes, comes. Integrative Medicine Task Force continues to look at these classes as an opportunity to design some research with these two groups to see what it is that is there, because the physicians that sit on this task force do think something is happening. It's a great tool. I think it is so simple. Tom refers to it as a lazy bum method of healing, and it is lazy bum. You don't have to do anything other than sit in the chair. You don't have to have dim lights, calming music, nothing. You just sit in the chair and be part of what's going on. And I think that is one of the greatest advantages to this system. And I hope to see it go forward with more research and stuff at Spalding. I would like to just end by saying that for the practitioners, for the providers that are in the room, I would really encourage you to be open to your patients, to be open to what your patients are doing. Our patients are out there doing an awful lot of things, but they're not telling us about it because of how we respond to them. I had that experience as a patient, but after 5 years, my surgeon could not argue with the fact that I was still sitting there, considering I had a high rate of recurrence for the disease that I had. Also for ourselves to be open to what's out there so that we can encourage patients to explore other options so that they will have the best outcomes and maybe overall decrease some of the suffering that we see in the world today.
If I had started on blank walls writing all of the medications that I've been on for depression and all of the hours of therapy and all of the treatment for PTSD and drug addiction, I would literally have filled the walls of this room and be writing on the floor and taking the elevator up to the next floor. I had a rough childhood with PTSD. I've been depressed since I was probably about 8 or 9 years old, a physical, chemical depression that I would feel. I cut my hand on a table saw when I was young, when I was 16, and was put on painkillers and became happily addicted to them. And that just led to down the path of addiction to Demerol, and ultimately started using drugs. And Tom doesn't know this, and most of the people in the room don't know this, but that led to meeting up with some of the wrong people in my life, and I started using IV cocaine that we pretty much picked up from the airport, directly from Colombia in golf ball sized rocks that hadn't been cut with anything, not like the cocaine that you use today on the street. It was not you personally, that people use, sorry. But it was pure, and the fact that I'm here is pretty much amazing. It's a miracle, and many times over. I went to McLean Hospital when they first opened their drug rehab unit. I was a patient of Dr. Weiss's. I was there for a month. I left there and pretty much started therapy, where my doctors just started treating my depression and anxiety with a lot of medication. And I became so addicted to all of my medications that I couldn't go anywhere without taking my pills with me. And it was at least 6 or 10 bottles in a bag that I carried with me wherever I went. On and off airplanes, in and out of shopping malls, wherever I was, I could not go anywhere without my pills. And this was all while I was working. I'm pretty high functioning, so I was doing full-time work and being a full-time, very stage 4 depression, stage 4.5 depression. And by the time I got to Tom's, I remember in my first class raising my hand and talking about suicide. I was taking a lot of medication prescribed by my doctors at McLean Hospital that I was seeing in treatment once a week. I've been on so many different pills, and I raised my hand and I said that I was depressed and that I didn't feel like living anymore. And That was about 2.5 years ago. Tonight is my full 2nd year anniversary, oddly enough. Standing up here as where I am right now, this is like an open, beautiful world. There's no writing on the walls, and I don't have that long list anymore. And I just invite all of you to share my story with as many people as you can.
A lot to thank Tom for, and that silly little doll. I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2008, and it was a long story. We were married in 2007, and just prior to our anniversary, I found out that I had pancreatic cancer. And fortunately for us, we had met Tom months earlier and had gone just to see what acupuncture was all about. And trying to spell Qigong and Tuina and what is Tuina. I had no idea what all this stuff was. Didn't stay for the voodoo thing on a doll class because I couldn't buy into that. But then when I was diagnosed with cancer, because I'm a bit on the conservative side and my wife is a bit on the liberal side, she helped me get past my conservatism and take a look at what Tom had to offer. So all I can say is that it works. Simply put, it works. I did go I went through the traditional practice of medicine and had a great doctor, Christina Ferroni from Mass General, and had radiation, and I went through chemotherapy. And I don't know that I would have continued on chemotherapy if it wasn't for Tom and Tong Ren. Every Saturday we go to Haverhill and go through the Tuina and Qigong, and then we'd stay for the class. I would limp in to Haverhill. I felt lousy. And by the time we left, typically about an hour, but by the time we left, we'd have dinner with friends on Saturday night, and that's how great I felt. Never told anybody at work that I had pancreatic cancer, and I was probably out of work for about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks between the surgery and everything. Had the chemo on Friday, limped in, as I said, on Saturday, and I was back to work on Monday, and nobody knew. That was 3.5 years ago. I feel like $1 million. I still go to see Tom every 2 weeks. We still bang on that doll. I bang for her and she bangs for me, and it's a terrific thing. But she's written a book on it, and she's much more eloquent than I.
When my husband was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, I had done a lot of research as far as nutrition and the big three, and wasn't thrilled about them. I schlepped him to see Tom, and when we told Tom what was going on, Tom put his thumb on T7 on Frank's back, and I thought he was going to throw Tom out the window. I mean, he went down, and we knew at that point that, okay, there's got to be a blockage, there's got to be something about this blockage thing. We had read the book and started with Tong Ren. Frank insisted on doing the big three, which I'm sure you know, surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, with me kicking and screaming all the way. But he was willing to do everything else that I subjected him to, which was hypnotherapy, it was seaweed baths, it was wheatgrass, it was raw food, it was Tong Ren, Tuina, Qigong, you name it. You don't have to worry about exactly where you're banging. It's not, you cannot do anything wrong. It's the fact that you're coming from a place of love and a place of wanting to help and a place of wanting to heal, and your intentions are there. That's all you need. So one of the standard protocols for pancreatic cancer, when they first told us at Mass General on July 3rd, while we were planning our first wedding anniversary, that Frank was having a 4.6% chance of survival and was likely to die after 6 weeks to 3 months. The protocol involved getting scans every 3 months after the surgery. And that is another thing. It was like I was begging Frank, it's like, please do not subject yourself to that kind of radiation. I really had a hard time with that. He said no. And I also didn't want to feed the cancer the energy of being afraid of the scan and anticipating the next scan and then worrying about the results. And it would have been just an ongoing living in fear of, so we never had a scan. We did have our first scan 2 months ago because he had a boo-boo in his stomach and we didn't know what it was. So we needed to know for sure. He's completely cancer-free.
I think it's a time for us to do a little bit demonstration. Or we go to hearing, because a lot of people already in our Tong Ren class. So we can demonstration or any people volunteer. So we can do the hearing. So usually we work as a group. So the people in the group come in. So we do it just like in Spalding in 8-hour class. So we do for everybody. So this is our regular, and all of our Tong Ren healing class have a lot of the people. So the people in here, one thing, they form the collective consciousness. Another thing is build up the collective unconsciousness. So we can have some people already heal to demonstration first. So then any people, everybody in our class, everybody have a chance to heal. It's 1.0, the created. Created, it's 1.0, 100% normal. So in the medical study, and the people say, how can your kidney reverse back to normal? Impossible. So many things impossible to us, it is possible. So, and that is another thing is multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma, they don't know how to do it also. They just want to keep push to do the bone marrow transplant. Each bone marrow transplant is $500,000. I have one professor from Concord, 3-time bone marrow transplant, $1.5 million. So how many $1 million the American government or the insurance have? They say your insurance company cover, not true, from your pocket. So now they keep push, oh, you need the bone marrow. I say, no, save the money, $500,000. Then I tell your doctor, can we, under table 50-50? So you get $250,000, I get $250,000. All right. So we working on the multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma open the bone marrow, T1 bone marrow. Then T4, T7. How you feel? Then open the GB789. You have a kidney cancer, so, but the kidney cancer next week you go to do the exam.
When I started, it had metastasized to 5 different spots and 5 different bones. And since I've been doing the Tong Ren, I had pain in all 5 spots. And in the probably 6 weeks, I've been doing this about 2 or 3 times a week with Tom, with Monica and Lynn Anderson, and all the pains have disappeared. And the doctors are extremely happy. It's just a great sign.
But you still not do the CAT scan?
No, I will do that on Monday.
So on Monday, because in our law is, without the CAT scan or biopsy, we're not allowed to say you heal. But we just say your symptom disappear. So the standard is from the doctor's equipment. So that's all time the law we follow, because we are not double standard. They say, oh yeah, you heal. No, but you only the symptom disappear. So we're working on your kidney again. So open the vagus venous nerve. Then T7, number 1, 2, 3. How you feel? Warm. Usually during the treatment, the people, everybody, most of the people feel tingling or warm. That is the energy or the bioelectricity already running. So that is the same thing we do in Spalding, in Quincy, all of our place. Even though you call the people on the phone, we do on the phone also.
So, whiplash and food allergies.
Food allergy. So the food allergy is easy. Then we call only do the pigu. Then you don't need to eat. Then you no more allergy. So that is very tricky. And Chris is just 6 years ago. I know Chris, and he wrote a book. What your book that? He wrote a book about our story also, so you can go into the internet. They call the God Complex. Do they on sale for Christmas?
Yeah.
All right. So we go to do the food allergy. Then autoimmune meals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Then CV12, CV13. How you feel? Warm, yeah, the whole face turned red. Any complaint?
Atrial fibrillation and panic attacks.
Panic attack our door? No. So some people have a panic attack from our door. This is a true thing, you know, because they put us in the religion. We are not the religion, we are the science. You remember we in Hayflow, they have one guy just saw our door right away, they run it to the stair. Then panic attack, open the front to look. GB13. Then we open the GB 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Any pain anywhere? No. All right. Then open the vagus framless nerve. How you feel? Warm. Then kidney meridian going down. Simple, easy, right? Yeah. Because your whole face is red color already. So how you feel now?
Relaxed.
More relaxed. And legs. Yes.
Insulin resistance and candida.
Candida. So on the candida, we are not working on the candida. So we only go to do is build up the immune system. When your immune system, your body know how to clean it up. You have a baby? Yes. So many people come for the baby also. So candida, then autoimmune, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. How you feel? Warm on the face. Yes. Yeah. All right. So when the people deliver the baby, we do the Tong Ren also. You just 2 months, 3 months.
3 months ago.
So she uses a Tong Ren for deliver the baby. So all natural, all easy, simple. So if you interested, connect any of them. Then they, because on that week or during the time, they can help you to release the pain, relax everything.
So on my left lung, being worked up for a possible mass at the base of my left lung.
Left lung have a mass.
Possible mass.
Okay. So left lung, we work on the right side, GB 7, 8, 9, 10, right side. Lung, open the medulla. BL9. Left lung, T1, 2, 3, 6. Last Saturday, one day, one class, 6 people have the lung cancer in April last week. So 6 people have a lung cancer, 1 is brand new. 5 have a good report. 1 is one time the small cell lung cancer, stage 4, and the liver, 50% disappear by the doctor's proof. That is the last Saturday in April. How you feel? Yeah, CV 17 and down.
Metabolism and hormonal balance.
Metabolism. Okay, metabolism, TW16, TW17. Then endocrine system, GV22, 23. How you feel? Warm, burning. All right, next.
I have a lot of burning and pain.
Burning, all right. So you just have a PET scan, so you don't know. So you have the breast, lung, brain, and liver tumor. All right, so we open the LI 17, LI 18. So we waiting the report coming because we need to see what your CAT scan say. Then GBA, open the medulla also, BL9, GV17. How you feel? Then open the lung, T1, 2, 3, liver, 7, 8, 9. How you feel now? Yeah, we can see the whole face burning now. So, can you see? Already burning. Let them burn. Stomach 21, stomach 25. Let them go. Don't hold it. Don't hold it. Let them go. So 3 months ago, the doctor said he only have 2 months to live. Time's up. So they have the gallbladder, bile duct, liver cancer. Time's up. The tumor is huge. So now already a little bit more than 3 months. And last week, the medical report from the doctor, the liver function 100% normal. So that is no argue, and everything, the tumor or everything shrunk. So of course the doctor say, oh yeah, I give you vitamin C. Okay, take more vitamin C, you know. So they kind of think that's an excuse. On the medical study, stage 4.5, I just say very nice, say 4. So gallbladder, liver, bile duct, in the history, time's up. The doctor really tell you the truth, only 2 months. So now you're going back to work, and you are this month on vacation, made me jealous. So I was on vacation, so he will go 21 days on vacation. So, but the doctor say vacation, okay, 4 months, still not die, still on duty, still get a ticket, fly away. So that kind of thing is too serious. The tumor in the liver is huge. Then another girl is 12 centimeters. We have a whole bunch of people. So all of them didn't do it good. So that is a hope for the people. Doesn't matter what you have. Try something, no harm first. It is a hope. So we go to working on your liver, bile duct, and gallbladder. You ready?
But I don't have gallbladder, you know that.
But we still beating up. Don't worry, you know. All right, we open the LI 17, LI 18. Tomorrow I have another one, same thing also. The gallbladder, bile duct, and liver. One treatment, already back to work. So how can you go to explain it? You cannot deny it, accept it. Then see what is behind it. So we still look at what is behind it. Then we go to change your autoimmune problem also. Because on the same time, he have a Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease, they can cause anything. Crohn's colitis, they don't know how to do it. But now the Crohn, no more pain already, the Crohn's disease. So we working on the Crohn autoimmune, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Stomach 21, stomach 25. What do you feel? Your first time in my class. All right, next. How you feel? Yeah, because the whole face already red color. But we have a few famous people in our support group also. One is Sister Teresa. So they all join our class. Sister Teresa is the president of the Ritchie College. She died 2 years ago. She had the gallbladder, bile duct, liver cancer. I met she last almost 10 years. And she died on 86 years old with the chemo. Before the chemo, she can drive in from Vermont to Cape Cod. Then the doctor tell her, we developed a new chemo. Then you should on the clinical trial. Then I say, no, when you can drive in, don't do anything. She said, no, Tom, I want the cancer-free. No, you don't need the cancer-free. What is your age? If you can eat, you can drive in, and she still write the book. She put my story on her book also. So then she died. So that is a very bad case. But at least we made her last for so many years. If you need to join our class, just go to tomtim.com. You can find out how many classes we have already. So have a good night.
Thank you.
Yes.